Before we dive into everything with the new Vancouver Canucks press conference with Jim Rutherford, Patrik Allvin, and Adam Foote, I've got to talk about the state of the channel right now. And I'm going to repeat myself over the next few videos here because the truth of YouTube right now is that my channel is kind of dying. The amount of views that we're getting on these videos are a lot less than they had been, let's say 2-3 weeks ago, and they're a lot less than how they usually are in this mid-September, end of the off-season type of period. Now, you can say, Lego, why are you going out here complaining about views? You have a full-time job making these videos. That's kind of ungrateful of you. And yes, I understand that I'm very privileged to be in this spot where making videos is my full-time job. It has been my full-time job for 5 years. But in these 5 years, I've gained the experience to understand just what the market is like. In August, the views were pretty normal for what they usually tend to be in this period. Even a little less so, because there was nothing going on. But we still had consistent viewership, lots of 3, 4, 5, 6,000 view videos, a few stinkers in there, but still, this was pretty normal. But ever since the turn of the month, things have gone down a very bad path. More sub 1,000 view videos than ever, more sub 2,000 view videos than ever. Things have really been slowing down on YouTube's behalf, and I'm not the only one that's gone out there and experienced this. On the partnered YouTube subreddit, there are a bunch of folks going out there and talking about similar things ever since YouTube rolled out these new algorithms for AI, auto-dubbing, and restricted mode. The way everything has shaped up, you're now seeing a lot of creators on the platform experiencing similar view drops that I have. So right now, with this AI apocalypse going on with YouTube, it's become very difficult to find sustained viewership, and so for me, I'm just pleading to y'all, I need your help. This is a very difficult time for my YouTube channel and for a lot of others who make their living on this platform. So I never ask you to like, comment, and do all of that stuff, but if you enjoy this channel even just a little bit, it helps out the algorithm a lot if you're able to contribute in that way. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and complain about getting thousands of views on the recent videos, but I know and I understand that this standard is less than what we are used to, and it's a lot lower compared to what we had done lately. And that's represented in all of the numbers. It's represented in the daily, monthly view counts. I mean, we are getting a lot lower here on the Social Blade numbers. This September period, we're on pace to maybe getting about 400k views on the month, maybe a little bit less than that. So things are getting worse when normally they wouldn't be. I don't think it's because my channel fell off, because we were doing pretty well just a few months ago. Almost 1 million views in July. Cut that in half to August. Okay, that's fine. It's the off season, but then it's getting cut even further into September. Things are not looking all too great. So if you feel any sort of empathy, then please like and subscribe. Give a comment if you want. Let's dive into the Vancouver Canucks, though. I do not want to take away any more time to speak about the death of this YouTube channel, because Canucks News Summaries went out there and summarized the entire Canucks press conference. We're going to go over each of the points here, maybe spend a little bit more time on some versus the others, but as always, big shout out over to Canucks News Summaries for giving us the latest summary on the Vancouver Canucks. Starting out with Adam Foote. This is what he had to say about this new thing that he is taking over compared to last year. He had the skate test done a few days ago, and he asked the players about it if they wanted to do it, and the players asked to do it before camp officially began. Every player hit the mark on their tests. So I guess a lot of these Canucks players, they probably should come out of the gate flying. Certified sliders out there, baby. The first thing that he wanted to do was get the leadership group together. Okay, that's pretty good. Captain Quinn, it all starts with him. And Foote says that he's using camp to get the pace up and get used to physicality again. The Canucks will be a team that adapts to their opponents and makes them feel uncomfortable. They're going to play as a complete unit of 6 on the ice. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Pretty vanilla answer if you ask me, but still, good to hear that, then not. Foote says when great players are ready to win, they adapt to the situation and do what needs to get done. The Canucks are a great defending team, but they can get back quicker. Good teams make you feel like they have an extra player on the ice, and a lot of Tocchet's structure and mentality will stay in place. Structure, eh? Can't really say that there was enough of that for Vancouver the most recent campaign, but still, Foote expands more so. Elias Pettersson really wants to grow. He apparently did very well on his first test. Okay, I shouldn't say apparently. I shouldn't be doubting our boy EP40 this quick into the season, right? He also says here that the Canucks needed some sandpaper in the lineup in reference to Evander Kane. If the players don't hold themselves accountable, then Foote will need to do that himself. He also says that there's less swearing and it's not as loud in reference to how coaching communication has changed since when he was a player in the NHL. Hockey players want to know why they are doing something rather than just doing it. Coaches need to change and evolve as leaders, and it's very important that players go home sure of themselves and what they are doing. So from Adam Foote, this seems very optimistic. He has been a very big vocal supporter of the players in terms of encouraging them and just giving them the support needed to play their best games. This has been very apparent ever since he was hired back a few months ago, and I think a lot of folks are going to see that bleed into the way that he coaches the team every day. I don't want to make it seem like, Rick Tocchet was never positive in forcing the players, but, think about it. The amount of times Rick Tocchet would talk about Elias Pettersson to the media and say that you have to give him a routine, you have to do this, you have to micromanage all this, you have to change the way he thinks. It's not ever something like what we have seen out of Adam Foote, because Adam Foote, he's been building Pettersson up in the media every single time he gets asked about him. Tocchet, there were always these, he needs to do this. He needs to do that. He's got to change this. He's got to do that. You can tell there's a lot of difference there. And moving over onto the next piece over here, this is what Jim Rutherford went out there and said about a lot of these players over here. He likes a lot of the things that are in place for the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks also wanted more depth at center. Players weren't available or the prices were too high. Goaltending and defense for Vancouver has improved, and they'll also see how the forwards will play out. Due to parity in the NHL, the Canucks have to have everything go right. Absolutely true. Parity has been a big part of it, and the Canucks do need everything to work in order for them to try to be competitive. We'll see about making an addition during this season. Rutherford also says here he knows that Pettersson put in the work this summer and that he didn't put in that work a year ago. Okay, man. Jim Rutherford really laying the smackdown here. Every player, especially Pettersson, worked very hard this summer, Rutherford said. He's already comfortable with the leadership based on Foote's work this offseason. And then Rutherford says that the Canucks, they made a lot of changes throughout the season, so the team is very different from a year ago. They have some good young players knocking at the door, and he really wants them to make the team. And the Canucks are also closer to a practice facility and have a few legitimate options. There are conversations with those options, and they should be able to get it done at this point. We'll see if that practice facility is in New Westminster. Anybody who really knows? Anyways, Jim Rutherford always delivering the quotes here, literally saying that Elias Pettersson did not put in the work last summer. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty insightful, to say the least. Let's continue on here to Patrik Allvin. This is what the Canucks GM had to say. It wasn't an active market in the summer. Scouting and analytics staff have identified players that may become available. May? Okay, that's a pretty good way to put it. A lot of conversations, but not much has turned into anything. The Canucks have identified that they want to fill out the center depth. The Canucks also probably have the best goalie pipeline in the NHL. Young, Tolopilo, and Jiri Patera is a great goalie group in the AHL. You gotta remember, the Canucks just lost Artur Shilovs, and they still have a really good young goaltending group. Demko and Lankinen is the best goalie tandem in the league, and they have a chance to win every night. Tell that to the guys at BR Open Ice who ranked Demko Lankinen as 21st in the NHL. Okay, it's because of injuries and inconsistency, but still, if Demko and Lankinen is playing their best every single game, it is one of the best goaltending tandems in the league, maybe even the best. Allvin then points out how they identified Hronek and Pettersson well before they were acquired, and the Canucks have enough assets in the organization to make a trade. They're also open for business. So that, of course, bleeds into what we had been talking about this entire time. Vancouver management wants to get a deal done. Medical results, players are still being evaluated. Jet Wu had surgery in August and is likely out until November. Mueller was hurt in the summer and will start skating soon. Mueller? Doesn't he play for the Whitecaps? Okay, I'm joking. Ravinskis had hernia surgery and has been rehabbing for a month and is close to being back week to week. Everyone else is a full participant in camp. And then finally, the last thing over here, we have ourselves some conversations on Quinn Hughes. This is, of course, going to be a pretty big subject. Obviously, his future is so important to the franchise. At the end of the day, Quinn needs to make a decision. Although I do kind of wonder why they're talking about this now. The guy isn't eligible to sign an extension till next year. It's always important to win, and especially in this situation. The Canucks are caught in an in-between. How many picks and prospects do they want to trade? They went all in every year in Pittsburgh. Every conversation about improving the team involves multiple first-round picks and or prospects. Hughes may consider that he prefers to be somewhere different geographically. Everyone knows that he wants to play with his brothers, but that doesn't mean it has to happen 2 years from now. The Canucks have a responsibility to put the best team on the ice, and apparently Quinn told Foote that his head is clear and asked Foote to teach me how to win a Game 7. That's fair. The Canucks haven't won a Game 7 under Quinn Hughes, right? Yeah, no, they beat St. Louis in 6, then they lost to Vegas in 7, and then they lost to Edmonton in 7, they beat Nashville in 6. Hughes has not had that Game 7 victory just yet. Rutherford says here that he didn't tell anyone anything they didn't already know about Hughes wanting to play with his brothers. Oh boy. Yeah, I know, it's not something that we didn't know, but come on, you didn't need to go out there and acknowledge it in the media. That just made things more out there in the open. And then there are some extra notes about the AHL team. Players were hurt and beat up in round 2, and Henrik Sedin reminded them that it was only round 2. And the coaching staff have done a phenomenal job. The Sedins continue to work with the AHL team. Love to have the Sedins on board doing their thing, man. And you also have some more notes on Adam Foote's coaching staff. They all have NHL coaching staff here. Players instantly have respect for them, and they are a support system and teachers for the players. So, that is our Vancouver Canucks update in regards to Pettersson, Hughes, Allvin, Rutherford, Foote. A lot of information over here. If you've got a like in your pocket, don't be afraid to bring it out, because this YouTube channel is dying, and I would appreciate the support here in these dried up times. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the newest in terms of Vancouver's management speaking out ahead of training camp. What are your thoughts on these thoughts? Let me know in the comments how you feel. I hope you enjoyed this Footish 99, and bye.